start out with a question, a very, very common question, something which a lot of these, say, TEDx events start with. So let's start out with this question. I need a raise of hands. How many of you have been ever asked this question in any point of your life? Just give me a raise of hands. Your mom, your dad, your uncle, aunt, I don't know, wife, maybe, have asked you this question. Okay, thank you. So moving forward, right? Okay, I just forgot what I was supposed to say next, but that's so okay. What I was supposed to say next was okay. I need you to raise your hands again if this question has ever given you a bout of, say, insecurity, anxiety. You kind of get the point. It has made you feel uncomfortable. Awesome. Thank you. Kind of really helps me. I know that what I'm going to speak is something that you'll pick up from here on. So hold on to that question and I'll get back to that. Let's start out with something about me, you, all of us here, most of us here at least. And I'm not really going to speak a lot about my life, but let's talk about all of us. Let's talk about millennials. I believe most of us are millennials here. Some of us are parents of millennials. Some of us are siblings. But in one way or the other, you are related to a millennial. Now, when we talk about millennials, one thing that you would pick up, or one thing that you would know about this generation is, this is a generation which has far more opportunities and choices. Most of the speakers have mentioned this today to a variety of different things. And it's actually a great time to be young, to be actually growing into your careers. There are two aspects to it, right? There's a positive aspect when you look at it. Oh my God, that's so many options. I'm going to do this, I'm going to go crazy about it. That's one. And then you hear the other side, which says, oh my God, there's so many things. What the hell do I do? Sorry about the word. But again, right, there are two sides of it. But overall, if you look at it, it's one of the best times to be young. Now, when you turn on the media, something that you read about millennials looks like this. This is probably the last time I'm going to ask you, give me a raise of hands if you have heard, read, seen anything about millennials being called entitled. Give me a raise of hands. Give me a raise of hands if you have heard about millennials being called narcissistic. I don't really remember the follow-up words, but I'm just going to say millennials being called lazy. We are being called sadistic. We are being called rude, arrogant. There's so many different words that describe this generation, and most of it is never really positive. So you can just think there are innumerable reasons that this generation is being picked on for. Now take a look at this. You can't Google this, otherwise the whole idea of being funny just goes out the door, and it's really tough to make you guys laugh at the end of the day. So let's just stick to it. So it says, I see no hope for the future generation if they depend on the frivolous youth of today. Just shout out, what do you think about it? When is this from? When do you think is this quote from? 2000, 2015? Just shout something. Go ahead, one or two, then I'm going to tell you. And? Okay, fine, I'm going to tell you this. This is from 8th century BC. This is typically where you laugh. I'll tell you why. You laugh at this because, what does that mean? It means we have been literally shaming our young people for all of human history. That's like, so typically what you're going through right now is something your mom has gone through, your dad has gone through, your grandfather has gone through. It's just that they're never going to tell it to you. Okay, coming back to it. We've talked about opportunities, we have talked about so many choices that you have. Let's talk about something that translates this to. Let's talk about millennials at work today. We as a generation, and I'm sure a lot of you would agree, we actually value experience and exposure when it comes to our workplaces, even over money. And in that sense, in other words, we actually try to strive for being happy at our workplaces. But when you look at the statistics, it looks somewhat like this. Over 71% of millennials today are described to be disengaged at work. Now, does this look bad to you? Give me a yes or no. it looks bad to you. If you think this is bad, think about this. By 2025, over 75% of the global workforce is going to be millennials, right? Now, I do quite a few of these talks talking about millennials, the millennial mindset, be it in schools, colleges, a few corporate gigs as well. And I get asked this question very often, and the question is, why do I support millennials, or why do I support the millennial mindset so much? And for most times, for most of the times, my obvious answer, and the first answer that I give is this. I am a millennial. I don't really know what exactly were you expecting. What else do you want me to say? I am not going to shame myself. You guys do it enough for me, so I'm not going to say something. Yeah. Thank you. So, coming back to it, right? So, and the next answer that actually follows it for people who don't really stop at that, okay, I get it, you're a millennial, but so what? For that, my answer typically is, we don't really have a choice, do we? We don't have another generation waiting at the bench just in case this generation doesn't work out. We can't do that, and that's not an option. So, this is a point of time where we really need to buckle down and figure out what exactly has been happening and go out there and support this generation, right? So, what exactly went wrong? Where have we gone wrong? Why is this generation struggling so much to find happiness, even though there's a world of choices out there? You know it's much easier to go out there and do something different today, be a bit non-conventional than what it was 10 years back. Even then, this is a generation who's struggling to find happiness much more than most generations before us. Where did we go wrong? And a lot really is in this question than we are willing to see. I myself am someone who has never been able to give a socially acceptable answer, I would say, for this question. Not because I didn't have any interest or passion whatsoever. It was more because I had too many of them. I remember back in school, I was someone who liked history, biology, I would say, let's not say physics and chemistry, I was really bad at it. And at the same point of time, I used to like computer science. And I had taken up science. If you think about it, these are two opposite streams, and you can't really be a doctor and a computer engineer. It just doesn't somehow work out. You can be that, but somehow it just doesn't work out. They don't let you sit in both the classes. For me, I thought it was a phase, and I thought it will pass on. At a point of time, I thought I will settle down and, yeah, I would probably be an engineer or a doctor. That's all I had seen all my life. But it didn't happen. My high school came to an end, and I was still the same. Towards the end of high school, I saw myself getting interested in the field of climate change and a few others, right? I kept thinking, maybe in college I'll be a little different. I took up design and management. But at the end of college, towards the final year of my college life, I built and sold a company which has nothing to do with design. It had a lot to do with emotional branding and, say, content generation. So typically what I realized was it was more of a trend for me. I would pick up something, get into it, give my 100%, like it, but at the same point of time, something else and something nice would take my fancy. That's when I would realize that, okay, I want to do that as well. It's like, Mom, I have that candy, I have this candy, and Mom, I want that candy, that's yellow in color. It's like so nice. You laugh at these things. It just makes it funny. Come on, guys, laugh. Okay, so it was a trend for me, right? And it just didn't seem to stop. If you think about it, the first time you are posed with this question, you're probably, say, 4 or 5 years old. Am I right? Am I right? Yes. Thank you. So, you're probably 4 or 5 years old, and it's a very cutesy stage, right? When your uncle comes down from somewhere and like, Bacha, what will you be? And then you're like, Papa, I'll be a pilot. That's nice. But again, when you're young, you're given that choice. You are asked to dream big. You are asked to figure out that entire world of opportunities that you have in front of me. At that point of time, everything is possible. But when you start growing up, the question starts coming back to you in 10 different forms. The most common ones being, when you're in class 10, what stream are you going to pick up, beta? I don't know. How am I supposed to know? I don't know. But then again, you're supposed to give an answer. Fine, somehow you passed your class 10, you got into class 11, and as Harsh mentioned, you probably didn't get shifted to the second grade. Somehow you stick to the first grade, but at the end of the day, you get another question. Which entrance examinations are you sitting for? IIT karoge, PMT karoge, law karoge, kya karoge beta? So that happens, right? So What exactly are people expecting from you? You are expected to do something that is choose. There was a point of time when you were asked to dream big and you were asked to go out there and do so many different things. But now they want you to choose that one line where they would want to see you build your career upon. Give it a thought. Just give it a thought to what I'm going to say. If you think about it, the whole idea of a narrowly focused life is so much romanticized in our culture. It's like just some kind of a fascination that the society has about finding that one true calling and then just giving your entire life to it. I mean, to be very honest, don't take me in a negative way. I strongly believe people have a true calling. But who is it that taught us it was wrong or it was not normal to actually want to do 10 different things? It's our society, it's our culture. And it's very ironic because of the fact it's the same society and the culture who taught you to dream big and do different things when you were really, really young. Now, let's just think that, okay, you somehow went with the flow and you were able to make a choice, and it will take your motivation and dedication to make a career out of all of this. It's perfectly alright to want to figure a career out, having 10 things on your plate, and there are people who have done this. So go out there, explore your curiosity, embrace the many passions that you have, and above all, embrace your inner wiring. Every one of us is unique and special, and it'll help you find happiness and obviously lead you to success. Thank you.